Hi guys, welcome to English 11011, which is College Writing 1 at Kent State University. I am Mrs. Annie Brust. I've been teaching this class for a number of years, just the past several years with Kent and then Lakeland before that. And it's such a unique opportunity that you guys have to be able to be here and take this class as high school students. It's a fantastic class. We're going to have a lot of fun. I know being virtual isn't what everybody necessarily wanted from the get-go, but I think it's going to work really well for us this semester and actually enable us to do a lot more than we would be if we were in person. Just in the sake that we can talk openly, drink our morning coffee, and have a conversation without being impeded by masks, which is really important because this class is a lot of discussion. It is a lot of sharing of ideas and questions and a lot of sharing of yourself. So I am going to dive in this morning. We're going to go over some basics for Monday, and then we'll go through the syllabus and other information on Monday. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how to navigate some of the apps and some of the formats, platforms that we're going to be using this semester. I encourage you at any point throughout this semester to email me at abrust.edu, or you can also email me at the annie.brust@kenstonapps.org. Either is fine for me. I know that Kent does prefer that you use my Kent email, but I'm okay with either one. I also posted a note on your classroom stream that did give you the Remind app. I really encourage you to use that because it's a little bit faster as far as getting some feedback, or if you need immediate feedback. I usually can answer that almost immediately, if not more quickly. I do check my email throughout the day, but I'm more likely to see the notice pop up on my devices. So welcome again. I'm looking forward to a really good semester. And again, I would just encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. So as we start on Monday, I did post your code for the Zoom, and that's what we're going to be using this semester. So if you look at, here is our classroom. I posted the Remind app here. You also have the class meeting. Right here is actually the link for the Zoom meeting. It'll be the same link all throughout the semester. We're going to use the same code, the same passcode for every single meeting that we have. Eventually, we will be switching over to Blackboard Ultra Collaborate, or Collaborate Ultra, but not everybody is familiar with Blackboard yet, and I didn't want you to have to try to jump into that without everybody being logged on appropriately and going through some of the tools. We'll take that at a little bit slower pace, and we eventually will transition over to that. But for all sakes and purposes, for the first couple of weeks, we're going to use Zoom just because it's the most effective right now. And it has the most tools, and I'm able to see everybody in the class, especially as we get started, so I can get to know all of you, and you can hopefully get to know me as well. So this is our basic streamline of information. I will put announcements on Blackboard, but then they will copy also to Google Classroom. I know most of you are pretty familiar with that. So we will use this format throughout the semester. You will not be turning anything in necessarily on Google Classroom because that is a requirement that has to be turned in on Blackboard. But as far as announcements and basic information, and maybe even some of the materials, I'll post here as well, just so they're a little bit easier to access mobilely. You can download the mobile Blackboard app. It is great for looking at things, but it's not so great for submitting things, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, so let's jump into what we're going to be doing as a class. This is your Kent main board, and you're going to go into, all right, sorry, here, let's get out of, I want to go back to this one here, thank you. All right, there's your Flashline login. And this screen will come up, and this explains here what your Flashline is. It's your email, it's your Google Drive, it's also your Office 365 and your Blackboard Learn. Some of you may not have used Office 365 yet or OneDrive. You will be transitioning over to that Most colleges are not accepting Google Docs anymore, and almost all colleges have switched over to Office 365. So you will be able to use Word, and it's really great because it has so many more tools for you and so many more tools for me to give you so much better feedback. So we are going to be transitioning to that as well. You have an Office 365 account provided for you with your Kent ID. So there's nothing you have to set up. You've already got it, but we'll go through that on Monday. All right, so you would put in your first part of your email here. So whatever comes before @kent.edu, and then your password. You should have received an initial email that would have sent you your email address and then a code in order to log in and then reset your password. So make sure you've done that by Monday. So here's your dashboard, and this is a really great place to find all kinds of tools for you to use. And I just want to do a quick overview to familiarize you with this information. So you have your student resources here. You have your dashboard, which if you click on that, that takes you to what the things that you're going to use regularly. I have mine set up for textbooks, the calendar, the class schedule, library, which is going to be your #1 resource, and then also if you need to order an official transcript. You may not have to do that until the end of the semester. Those of you that are applying for colleges, you will need to request that, and you can have it actually automatically sent by the end of the semester because your colleges will need official transcripts. That will be different. You'll need to actually send a transcript from Kenston, but also a transcript from Kent, and I'll show you how to do that. We'll get to that. Right here is your Kent ID. And then this is actually your banner number, which is really important when you're going through with getting your transcripts, when you're looking at scheduling classes and things like that. That's an important thing. This number is also printed on your Kent ID. So you have faculty and advisors and employees and university resources. You're probably not going to use these at all. You won't use these at all. The student one is the most important one for you. So in your finances, you don't actually have a bill or tuition and payment. The only way you would have a bill would actually be a bill from Kenston if you did not actually pass the class, but we haven't really had that happen in the past. So financial aid, again, that's not going to be something you're going to be using this semester, but maybe using in the future. The tax form, however, your parents do get to use that when they're doing their taxes, so they can access that. However, they cannot access that information unless you provide it for them. So I want to take just a second to talk about FERPA. So you are, for all sakes and purposes, Kent State students. You are covered under FERPA law, which means that all of your files are your own and your information is your own. I cannot share those things with your parents. You are welcome to share them with your parents with you providing it for them, but we are not allowed to provide that information for them. So when we are moving forward with grades, if your parents email me and ask me about your grade, I cannot send that information to them under law. I also cannot speak with them at parent-teacher conferences, other than maybe about the weather, but I can't, which is, it's hard for parents, you know, moving forward in this step. So keep that in mind and you know that they are going to be a little nervous about that, not being able to see your grades. But I do keep everything updated in Blackboard, so you will be able to track your assignments and what you receive on those assignments weekly in Blackboard. And we'll talk about that because actually your grade does not go into Infinite Campus until the very end of the semester. So you'll get a tentative midterm grade through Kent, but you will not get a grade in Infinite Campus until your final grade. And we can talk a little bit more about that. You can actually go to the main page. It's under academic resources here. So you have your resources, which is probably going to be something you're going to use more often because here you can request transcripts and grades. You can get help with advising. You won't have to worry about graduation because that's just for undergraduate or graduate students. Academic resources, that's going to be a really important tab for you, and that's going to have the library, registration, career exploration, academic success, which is where you're going to find that waiver if you decide you do want to let your parents have access to your grades, you are allowed to fill out that academic waiver, and that will grant them permission. So that is totally up to you. It is not a decision that your parents make. It has to be a decision that you make under FERPA law. So you'll have to do that through Kent, and then I will get record of who has that waiver and who does not. And it's fine either way. It's totally up to you. So I just wanted to provide that for you so you understand. So probably the number one resource here is going to be the library. And we're going to get into that pretty quickly throughout the semester. But there's all sorts of other things. You can also access Blackboard here. You can look up specific career explorations and what you want to go into and what paths you need to take and what courses you need to take in order to, get a degree for that type of career. This is really helpful to juniors and seniors, which is all we have in this class this semester, which is great. So that's a really nice resource if you're having some thoughts about maybe what you want to do in the future. That's a really great resource for you. The Academic Success Center is tutoring and all kinds of things that you can set up, and all of this is remote. It is accessible to you, throughout the day. The Writing Center, also the Writing Commons here, it is again all virtual, but it is accessible. You just email them, you can send them papers, they can help with you. Now they don't necessarily do like a grammar check or anything like that. They're going to help you on basic concepts, and usually it's upper level students and grad students that are working that Writing Commons. So, but it's a really great resource. They're really, really helpful and they're very nice. And usually the turnaround time is pretty good, so 24 hours. And you're going to realize you're going to be doing a lot of revision in this class. We only have 4 major papers and then some smaller assignments throughout the semester. So those papers carry a lot more weight, and your final paper actually is 50% of your total grade. So while that sounds really great, because it's not a whole lot of extra assignments, you're going to realize that you're going to really want to break those down in chunks, which I'm going to help you do. Okay. So just to familiarize yourself with this main student resource center, your little tiles here. Most commonly when you go to access Blackboard, which we're going to have all of our resources, all the materials, everything on there, you're going to actually just hit this little icon up here, the BB. And that's going to take you to your courses. And these are going to be, so if you notice, before you leave home while you're on campus, these are some information that you're going to actually have to go through. There's some videos you'll have to watch as well, and they'll pop up for you in your on your dashboard. So here you have all your tools, anything application authorization, course materials, announcements. You've got this here, and you can send emails to me. You can send emails to your fellow students, however you want to do that. You can actually quick access your grades. So this is a quick links tool for you to use for any of your courses. If you'll notice here, of course, I have a lot because I'm an instructor. And actually I still have here because I'm a student also. I'm a PhD student at Kent. Actually, I have my doctorate, except from I'm hoping to defend my dissertation in December. So that's why you see this here. But anyway, you have 2 sections that are our class. Right now, they will be merged actually into one, but Mr. Roscoe is still working on that. And I would like to mention him, Aaron Roscoe, Roscoe at kent.edu. He's the IT specialist at Twinsburg at Kingiaga, and he is phenomenal. He is so helpful and very, very knowledgeable about everything, apps, flashbooks, all kinds of things that you may have glitches with, and all you need to do is send him an email, Roscoe at kent.edu, and he is wonderful. He'll help you out. You will need to know your Kent ID though. You will have to send that with any request. So let's look at College Writing 1. So these 2 sections, 420 and 421, are our entire class, but because of the requirements for Kent State, they're only allowed to have, each section's only allowed to have a certain number of students. We went over that, so we had to create 2 sections. But what we're going to be able to do is combine that together into one. They're working on that right now. So this is our main page, our course home page. And it looks a little bit different for me than it does for you, but it's basically the same information. So you have quick links here, an email, and here's all your control panel. You will have, here's my information, contact information, office hours are on here. Your syllabus is here. I would take some time to read that before class on Monday, just saying. All your majoring writing assignments will be in these folders. So this is organized so the homepage is going to be your main source to go to, and then you can access everything from here from the homepage. So you have major writing assignments. The textbooks we'll be using, although come Monday, you'll have a button over here on the left that will say flash books. You do not have to buy textbooks for this class. They are provided for you, and they will be electronic resources. You're more than welcome, if you want to, for your own sake and purpose, to buy a hard copy of them if you want to, but that isn't required. Probably isn't necessary, except for the Easy Writer by Adria Lunsford. It's a really awesome, just flip through resource for all kinds of formats of writing and grammar and style. And that might just be a really good tool for you if you're going into college next year, you know, and want to continue with the CCP. It might be a really good resource for you. And I think they're $8, so it's not a huge expense. Again, totally up to you. You know yourself and what you will need. So, you know, I'll leave that up to you. The electronic resource will be up here as of Monday, I'm hoping. These are reading materials. So this is going to be supplemental materials. We're not going to actually have literature textbook per se. In your textbooks, we are going to be using the Norton anthology, and I'm going to be posting PDFs for you. So through Project Gutenberg and through Norton Online, so you won't need any hard copy of that either. And again, self-explanatory videos and links. Any videos or links we're going to be watching will be here. The helpful hacks and resources, I'm just going to put in, you know, some good resources, Purdue OWL, some great links to things that will help you be successful, writing tools, things like that. And that'll be in that folder. We are going to be doing vocabulary every week. That will be updated today. I will have all of the units of vocab in there. And I will not be grading those till the very end of this semester. Actually, I'll grade them at midterm, and then I'll grade them at the end of the semester, and we'll go over what that looks like. So you'll be required to usually have 10 words each week. You'll be required to define those, come up with the synonym and antonym, and also the etymology of the word, because it's really important where we figure out where those words come from and where they originate, which will help, and we'll see in a lot of the things we're going to be reading, because we're going to be reading a lot of different type of literature, a lot of diversity text, and a lot of just things you probably haven't been exposed to, and very different text than you may be used to in other classes. This class really does function quite differently than other classes, just because it is the college format, and we do have a lot more freedom in what we're learning and how we're going about that and how we're going to be writing. And it is the learning curve. You're going to have to spend some time on homework, but you do have also a lot of work time built into this class because we have extra seat time. So that's going to be really a great tool for you. Journals and discussion boards. We will have journals probably every day, if not every other day. And then there will be discussion boards. I'll post a discussion question on something we're reading, and you'll have to respond, and then respond to your peers. It's kind of like a blog format, but a little more structured. And then project and presentations. Again, any write-ups or information will be housed in these different folders. And then here's Blackboard Collaborate, which I was talking about earlier. That is something we are going to be moving to eventually, just because it's a little bit easier to integrate. If you have submitted something to me, I can pull that up directly within the Blackboard format, and especially when we're doing conferencing on writing and stuff, sometimes it's a little bit easier to do that. But we'll also be able to do that with Word, so whichever format is more comfortable for you. Okay. So this is a basic overview. Make sure that you have logged in and checked out this information prior to class on Monday. As far as what we're looking at for your schedule. So we will be meeting at 7:45 to 8:45 every day. I will stop live instruction on those days by 8:45. So you have 31 minutes, you have at least a half an hour of travel time in order to get to your second period class on time, which does begin at 9:16. And then there's going to be staggered releases on that, but that gives you plenty of time to be able to get here and get to class on time. So we'll serve that last half an hour of our class will actually be work time, but for you, it's actually travel time. We will be picking a day in the week that is going to just be a work day, but I want us to talk about it and see what works for everybody else in the class, you know, what we find out, just like getting through the first week and how we're doing things, what day works best for everybody to have a work day. So the first week we are going to be meeting every day on Zoom. And then as we move forward, it'll probably slow down a little bit. We'll probably have, you know, 2 to 3 meetings a week and then 2 work days a week. But you will have to be checking in with me. I do have to take attendance every day, so you will have to check in with me. We also will be utilizing a lot of scheduled time, so scheduled conferences. My second period class is my planning block, so those are my office hours, but I also have office hours before school starts, so from 7 to 7:45, and then after school from 2:30 to 4:30. And then if you need to schedule something outside of that time, it's fine too. We'll work it out. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we'll definitely, there'll be things that will come up throughout the semester. Your syllabus, do look over it. It is not set in stone. It will be pretty fluid. We are going to be changing things around and having to move things depending on, you know, the schedule here, the schedule with Kent, kind of what happens with everything that's going on around us. So I encourage you, again, just please ask questions, utilize all your resources. You make the success in this class and you will get out of it what you put into it. I promise you that. And we're here to learn and to really kind of explore everything that words and literature and experience has to offer. So I'm really excited to meet you and to get started with you. And this class is just so much fun. And please let me know if you have any questions before Monday. If you want to schedule a private Zoom with me, that's fine too. The only time that I'm in meetings is between 12 and 1 during the day. So if you need to do that, just send me an email. You can, and again, you can use the Kent email or the Annie Bruss at kentsynapse.org. Also, as a note, I do need to give you your ID cards and your desk shields. So on Monday, we may stop a little bit earlier than 8:45, just so you can come and see me at the beginning of before second period starts, so you can get those to go to second period. And we'll have to stagger that because I can have more than 10 people in the room at a time. So we'll figure that out. Okay, we'll talk about that more on Monday. Again, have any questions, please send me a text through Remind if you'd like, or you may email me. And welcome back, happy fall. And we're going to get through this, and it's going to be, it may not be perfect, but it's going to be good. So I look forward to speaking and meeting you all. Have an awesome weekend.